the fool Kick-Ass Jamis himself joining us
Hello.
in place. And then we have Alex, otherwise known as the Chunkier Bean from Installation 01, joining us today as a guest.
Hello.
How's everybody's evening this wonderful day?
Cold, man.
I'd be great if my chair wasn't so squeaky.
What first world problems, buddy? First world problems.
Yeah.
Dude's got a leather chair. And I don't know.
Man, it's
I have a gaming chair.
You got a gaming chair.
Look at me
I got
go.
an office chair.
Because, that's what you do.
Can't beat it.
It's good. It's a good time.
It is.
Well, let's just get on with it. Alex, if you don't mind, for those of you who might not know who you are, can you kind of tell us who you are and what you do and why you're so important?
Well, first of all, let me correct you. I'm not really important. But...
You are. Stop it.
My name is Alexander Rojic. I am the Chunkier Bean, and I am the project lead and founder of Installation 01.
And what is Installation 01 for the people?
Some dumb fan game. No. It's a Halo fan game.
It's a great start.
Cross-platform. And its aim is to recreate the classic Bungie games with mixing in some elements from all of them, create a new cohesive experience. Computer.
Awesome. So why Halo? Why did you decide to make a fan game of Halo of all things, or a fan game based on Halo, or not just like a completely original idea?
Well, originality doesn't come strongly to me. I have to copy other people's work.
I mean,
in order to get anywhere.
But you did a damn fine copy, my friend. It's not exactly
I mean, it's really sad. I mean, the best analogy I could think is like the Garfield comics, and like everyone thought I was like the greatest drawer, but really I was going home and just like sketching over the panel.
Yeah, because it's my understanding all the assets you used are yours, right?
Oh yeah, 100% everything is ours. My team, fantastic people, so creative. They have the brain power to do those things.
Yeah.
What would you say the most difficult asset to make was out of everything?
The most difficult one, I guess.
Playable elites, because you were umming and ahhing about it, right?
No.
Yeah, it was.
Although that is kind of like not a contention, but kind of an interesting topic. I mean, we can probably go into it later, but probably not because James hates elites for some reason.
Right. James always. That's everything we talk about. Anytime you play Halo 2 or Halo 3, it's just like,
how can you not like the lovely sound they make when they die? I mean, it's the best thing to come out of Halo. Or whatever it is.
It is.
I think I met
probably would be the Mark 6.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
We've gone through 3-4 iterations over the span of 6 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And
fuck.
Yeah.
Dang.
When you look at perspective, jeez.
I think this week, 6 years ago is when I started like myself, like totally by myself.
That's insane, dude. That's insane.
Like knowing. Yeah.
And now look
That's
at
how long
the
the project's
state
been.
of everything.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
Like,
It's
Jesus.
been really. I need to turn volume up.
What a journey, man. Like, that's nuts.
Well, we are on the Great Journey podcast.
We are the first ever episode of the Great Journey podcast.
Yeah, no, it's been quite a long time. But no, the Mark 6 was definitely something to get right first. But again, we didn't. It always kind of looked really like wonky in terms of proportions. Either the human text underneath was wrong, or just the armor itself, proportions wise, wasn't really there. And then it was also just like, let's just make a Halo 3, because everybody loves Halo 3. But with this latest and final version, it's really our own take and style. And I have to give so much credit to the guy who made it, and really who spearheaded all art direction on the project, Greg Gwozdyke.
Shout out, Craig.
Yep.
Greg. Good job, Craig.
No, that thing was his brainchild for the longest time. It's actually not his favorite armor. He doesn't really like the armor.
Dude, the best armor you did was that throwback helmet.
The 99 is his favorite.
I agree.
I love that armor. That's so good.
That's so original, dude. That's so innovative. I bet you... Like, what was the thought process behind stuff like that? Like, because you have free reign to do whatever the hell you want, right? So where do you draw the line between, doing new things and just going, this is something crazy we've had as an idea, and going, no, let's stay traditional Bungie Halo? Like, where's that line drawn,
I think really you need to sell yourself in a way like Halo without calling yourself Halo. So how do you do that with a certain set of assets that kind of sell yourself as, okay, we are like Halo, but this is what would Halo be like if we did it. So
course, yeah.
it's a real balancing act where you have to figure out, what are the core sets that everybody is like immediately recognizable as Halo. Like obviously Mark 5 and 6 has to be in the game, out of doubt. So those were like the first two armors that were like really concepted and thought out as like how do they make them look right, and recognizable. But stuff like the 99 is more of us just kind of like staying up late, like 1 a.m. on a Discord call and like just talking about random stuff.
Yeah,
and
we've been there.
Oh, wouldn't it be cool to do the 99 armor? Like make that a reality? So yeah, that kind of stuff kind of comes from just looking at old stuff that never got released, or kind of looking at inspiration, what actually inspired Halo. So all the old like
Marathon and stuff like that.
RoboCop.
I just bring that up.
All the old stuff from the 90s and the 80s, because that's where those guys got their ideas from. We kind of look at it like that. You'll notice on the Mark 6, there's a certain like I wouldn't want to call it a seal, and it's like directly from RoboCop.
Nice.
Like you can find it on his armor. So
Nice.
Greg's like, I'm
Pretty
going to
neat.
put those references in because
Yeah,
that's what
they
inspired
wanted.
them.
Yeah, that was their journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
We kind of take a lot of things from CE, and how we do it in the modern age,
Oh,
but then
yeah,
also kind of
like-
like we like Halo 3 and 2 a lot. So
well, yeah,
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that your gameplay looks Halo 2, 3 throughout, but like a lot of the art
Oh,
direction
for sure.
is
Yeah,
very CE.
yeah.
it's something
That's what
feel
I
like-
thought from the beginning.
Yeah.
Even it was like CE gameplay or CE art, but like it had like the Halo 2 and 3 type gameplay, and that's probably what initially drawn me to it to begin with, or to see that kind of those two games, just kind of combined into one. Even if it is like fan game or not like an original like
Yeah,
Halo
man.
project.
well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weirdest thing, right? Is like, I was going to ask you, do you think you would have done this if MCC was on PC?
That's an interesting question.
Like,
Because when I started it, it was 2013, and Halo 4 just
Jesus.
came out. There was
Mhm.
no Master Chief Collection. There was no Halo 5 talks yet. Well, there was, talk about
there
it.
was talk of Halo 5. And
Of course.
I remember
where does the
those
story go?
talks.
Would I do it? I think I still would, because I think the original idea, not only was it because Halo 3 on PC had never existed at that point,
Yeah.
but I think also just because I was too bullheaded to learn how to mod Halo 1 and 2. Because a lot of my inspiration came from Halo.
Yeah.
I loved Custom Edition. All these mods. I had like a group of guys we used to play. They still do. Shout out to Storm and Blackbird.
Nice.
SBB, like one of the biggest map reviewers for Halo CE. But it was just, everything was kind of complicated in a way. In my brain, I was like, I should be able to just drag and drop a model into something and call it a day. That's what Unity provided for me. And I was like, I'm going to see if I could put some Halo 3 models in an engine that isn't Halo. And yeah,
How did that work out for you?
bad, horrible.
Yeah,
I got
horribly.
flamed so hard. I mean, people are like, do you know what a normal map is, dude? Like, you're supposed to give detail to the model. Like, did you forget to, like, rip that texture?
God, I
I
love
was
conversations like that. Where
yeah,
you're
I know
like,
what a
Look,
normal map
I've
is."
tried something. And everyone's like,
Like, figuring it
yeah.
Well, a lot of
Right.
the stuff, even back when Halo 1 and 2 and 3 were coming out, they didn't exist for, modern rendering
Yeah, of
techniques.
course.
So you had to kind of, like, learn everything really backwards. So,
Mhm.
but I learned a lot. That community taught me a lot. So, not the actual engine, but yeah.
Yeah.
What made you pick Unity and not like I don't know if like even Unreal Engine was even like freeform like it is now when you're making installation of one? What made you pick Unity out of everything else?
So back in the day, again, from that aspect of time, 2013, there really wasn't anything besides Unity that was very open in terms of community and support. And again, that's kind of one of its greatest weaknesses, is that anybody can get into it, but then you have the crap that follows suit. So UDK was Unreal 3 at the time. That was around. There wasn't a lot of video tutorials, so I didn't know where to start with that. Project Contingency, another Halo fan game, was already in CryEngine, and I was like, I don't want to do CryEngine. My computer couldn't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with Unity. And the biggest draw also with that was cross-platform, because I was making IO1 on a Mac originally.
Oh my god, poor you.
Yeah.
I had a-
I feel like I knew that.
Poor you.
Yeah,
Jeez. I
it
mean,
was. I didn't know anything.
at what point did you like decide this is where we're gonna go and show the world? Like that cinematic, the first cinematic you made. How long did you work on like getting that right? Like the image you wanted for Installation 01? Because this is very much a love letter to like what you wanted from Halo, right? This is your project, your vision and everything. So how important was it to get that to come through in that cinematic? Because I feel like it does. Like I've gone back today and watched everything you've done, like in the development updates and stuff. Yeah, I've caught myself up. Gotta say, the soundtracks, by the way, we are coming to because holy shit,
Jafet is the king of Halo soundtracks. So
man.
I somehow got him.
You're finished the fight.
You haven't even heard like the real version.
I'm so pissed off that I don't have.
By the way, I did give a link there. My bad. Okay, well, the vision when it came to the cinematic was more so my animator's final project of the year. He wanted to do something with IO1 because you have these plethora of assets, and you have all these like tools he's learned over the years, and you just want to like do something cool. And from a marketing standpoint, it was also like perfect time. We were just released our Q&A, and we had all these assets finished, and we had gameplay running. And it was like, well, let's kind of jump on this. And so that was good timing. But really, the art direction of IO1, I still don't think kind of it didn't really meet what we wanted at the cinematic, but at the time it was okay enough.
Okay.
We thought we had found something good. And even now, the stuff that we've released recently, there's stuff behind the scenes that look 10 times, in my opinion, way better than it has the past 2 years.
Well, that's super exciting because the Pelican shot behind the Spartan.
That is ridiculous. I love actually my favorite shot probably in the whole thing is minus the elite getting the elite stabbing the Spartan.
Oh, I love
it's super over dramatic. It does not make any sense whatsoever. But it was the reveal, like see like people, and I wish the premiere feature was around when that video came out, because to get people's like live stream reactions would have been like fantastic.
That would have been awesome.
The shot where it comes in and it sweeps at the beach, so when it like tail flips.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Tail spins.
It's similar to how they come in Warzone.
Was very Halo.
And like when you play Halo 5's Warzone and the Pelican comes down and does that sort of animation, that's very, very like, I feel like you captured that essence perfectly, and I feel like they do too, because a lot of people forget that the 343 guys are very Halo fans, right?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Like the conversations I've had with all of them, they are diehards, and little things like that, like you just said, when the Pelican swings it round, those little details are like what captures that real vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like the soul behind the game, it's not just a run and gun shooter and everything like that anymore. There is soul there, there's heart, and I feel like you captured that really well in that cinematic. A lot of the stuff is very Halo.
Yeah, again, Matthew Lake, the guy who's behind it. He did do a proper production on it. So we had storyboard, we had previs, and we had actual animation, and then render and engine. And that, to see that like timeline, kind of like remembering going back and like thinking about it, it was really just a beautiful time, because in a way it was like watching a movie getting in a game, which isn't really like something that I've ever considered. Like I used to do filmmaking, but kind of passed on that hobby. But I never really considered game engines as like tools for movies. But like with that, it was like, yeah, this is.
I mean, now it's
so much control.
Yeah, like look at Death Stranding, right? Like stuff like that is using an engine to create something like that.
That is unreal.
You can do things like that, and no one's doing it with Halo, man. It's it's a missed opportunity. Well, if only someone would make a PC version of a vision of Halo 1 and 2, and
if only. I don't know. Somebody probably will. But yeah, no, that was a good time. But yeah, I think we've definitely kind of gone beyond that vision we had in the cinematic, and we're at a better place now in terms of cohesion.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear. Like hearing about like you said, 2013 was a long time ago.
I was 16 and now I'm 22.
Jesus, I was 15.
Yeah.
It is a long time.
Cody was about 12.
Yeah,
Well, I guess you had
I was
you had
about
you,
13 or
you,
14.
you had a question I just that I don't think I answered. When did we want to start showcasing the game?
Oh yeah. That I sort of
And
shoe on
that
that.
first kind of well, I mean, I've always showcased the game, but it really didn't take off until 2015.
Mhm.
What's really weird is because when you were saying you're going
yeah.
back through history, our first ever video that kind of like went was today, 4 years ago
Jesus, man.
Wow.
on this day. And-
Around like Halo 5 lifespan. You know?
Yeah, like it came out the month after that happened, and I remember when Halo 5 was coming out, everyone's like, "Oh, we're not gonna like work or anything because we're playing Halo 5," and we managed to work.
I bet you did.
So, yeah, no, that was like the moment when we knew that the gameplay like looked Halo enough and was complete enough. It's like we can start like showcasing.
Yeah, because obviously you have to have that. You want people to see that that's your vision, right? You want to
Sure.
everything you've shown in cinematics and even little things very much shows how your different vision to like an approach to Halo is with this project, right? It's like it's very unique, it's very different, and whilst feeling very similar.
And you know, it really
what they
didn't.
wanted with Halo 5. Saying.
Well, yeah, it's the same like vision. But you know, even then, I don't think back in the day we had our own. I think it was very much let's take what the echo chamber really likes and make it modern. I don't know. It was very much, you know, you see that the Falcon? I want the Halo Reach version. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
It was just that, and you know, and still to this day, there's probably one or two assets where it's like there's not a lot of iterative versions of it that where you can say the weapon in Halo 3, you know, and I don't think it ever carried into Reach. I mean, I'm not sure, but we know like in the Sword on Construct where it spawns and it's under that chair.
Oh yeah.
That little box thing, little
Mhm.
Covenant thing. There's barely anything else on it, so it was just kind of like, okay, make it look like Halo 3, and there's not much to go off of.
Yeah.
Or creative with. I mean, I guess you could be, but you know, there's something that's either that hasn't changed for so long, and if you change it, like, we're getting into an interesting topic. If you change it, and people don't associate it with the same thing anymore, so.
Yeah, at what point do you stop being very like? At what point do you go so far that you're not recognizable enough as Halo, and it's now different with Installation 01? You know, it's like you have to be along those lines before, because you know it's still a Halo fan game. Like, it's cool, right?
There's boundaries, yeah.
Yeah,
there's definitely.
You can't just like throwing like fucking asset like Rust and stuff and make it play like Modern Warfare 2.
I mean, you know.
I mean, real talk though.
Someone probably will make the game mode that'll be like Call of Duty, whatever.
Yeah, because your custom games settings basically you can make your Halo game with your custom game settings. If I'm not,
and that is the bottom line. That is the thing. You know, people ask all the time why MCC PC and you're still doing it. It's just kind of like because I want to make Halo. It doesn't stop me. I mean, you know, for some, you know, it's definitely kind of like, what do we do? Like now our whole audience is gone, and then you remind yourself that you weren't really there to have an audience. You want an audience to be able to see what you've done, but to retain it, it's never really been super core priority. I mean, obviously it is, in terms of designing the game and how to continue with updates, but it's a portfolio piece to project. I've had at least 6 people from the project, 7 maybe, gone on to professional jobs in the industry, maybe
amazing.
more. That I can't remember, and
that's insane.
2 at Super 3 Industries. So
I mean, that's the end goal, for a lot of people
is.
that I know that have kind of done fan projects like that. Like, I want to do this to, get into the actual industry or get into, quote unquote real gaming type stuff. But that's pretty insane, to have people to have a vision. Like, I just want to make a cool game that looks like Halo, because we all love Halo, and then like now they like work for Halo,
right? And there's also the thing where you're going to have people come and say, well, why don't you just be original? I mean, it's an arena game. Not a lot of shooters out there are like that, on the PC especially. Nothing. I mean, like, even Splitgate doesn't play like Halo.
No,
absolutely
it was very... When people first said about Splitgate being Halo-esque, I was like, okay, cool. I gave it a shot, and I was like, this is very far from Halo.
The only thing Halo-esque about Splitgate, well, Splitgate's a great playing game. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Oh, yeah, it's great.
The only
it's
thing
just not Halo.
Halo-esque about Splitgate is that it's like sci-fi. They're like, it's nothing.
And some of
like,
the designs and assets look like the battle
I feel like
rifle
when you
and-
think of like the battle, they have like
Yeah.
a
Well, yeah.
battle rifle in the game, and
Right.
Yeah.
there's an assault rifle and pistol and a sniper that kills you in 2 shots. So I mean, some of the weapon design is definitely taken from it, but there's still nothing really that's just like copying Halo, but with
Yeah.
a new skin. So people
Mhm.
always ask, well, you could be doing this and be making money, and then yeah, but then there's the fact it's like, how do I build an online team? No money, no resources, no marketing stuff, without something that's like tangible and like there's already an audience for. So having Halo has been able to get me this team that I have just because they like and have a similar passion and are
dude.
kind of doing the same thing, but just not really knowing that there's the opportunity that awaits them.
Well, yeah, like
Right.
I wouldn't be doing what I do with Cody if we didn't have Halo. Like the stuff that we've been able to do, but on a different scale, like has been nuts, and none of it's possible without that first initial conversation where it's like, "Yo, you like Halo?"
I mean, this right
Like
now
Halo?
would be happening if we.
You like
didn't-
Halo? That's great.
Yeah, true. Like
Let's
I
make a
would-
live.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't
Let's
have
play
met
Halo.
you if I didn't. I flew thousands of miles because I like Halo. You
Yeah,
know, like,
me-
there's-
yeah, it's crazy to believe that even happened. Like, because I would watch those behind the scene VDocs
Oh yeah.
all the time, and like Claude's barbecues in the Halo 2 one.
Mhm,
I would always
mhm.
imagine,
Yep.
it's like, oh, what if I met him or got to go to these cool things,
Right?
and now I get to go to these things,
Right.
and it's so weird. And then
Dude,
it
it
was
never
even weirder.
it never gets easier either. Never
No,
gets easier.
no. It kind of sucks too because we haven't released yet, so it's like, oh, you're that game, still hasn't come out yet, but you work on that.
You're that
It's like,
game. Well, it's
yeah, like
That's
you
when
should-
I shook your hand. I remember it. I met you, and I was like, "Okay, so what do you do?" And you were like, "Oh, I'm the founder of Installation 01." And it clocked in my head. I was like, "I know that project. I know that game."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You stand right there and give me 2 minutes." I ran off. I was like, "Dude, I need to talk to this guy. I need to properly sit down and interrogate this fool."
Yeah, I think I was up on the deck at the HBO party, just talking to like Fletch or somebody, and then like I saw you guys down there at the shop or wherever it was, and I knew what Installation 01 was, but I haven't ever like seen anybody like what they look like, and they're like, hey, Installation 01 guys are down there. I was like, really? Like,
Well, when you think about it, it's very weird because it's a very ambiguous thing because there's nothing physical about IO1. There's nothing that's really out there that's IO1 that you can bring around and show people. I mean, yeah, website, I guess, and videos.
Yeah, but you had
Beyond that,
100,000
nothing
plus sign up for that website.
oh yeah,
How you sign up?
I signed up years ago.
Oh, well, thank
Yep.
you. Makes me feel very happy.
I told
I'm glad.
you that,
geez.
that I signed
Well, it's
up
funny.
years
It's
ago.
like, am I even in your Discord server? So that's all right.
Don't to be fair, James has got like hundreds of Discord servers that
He's a popular guy. What can I say?
he's
Oh,
not that popular. He's
no, he's
pretty
not that
lame.
cool. He's a bit of a lame dude.
I mean, look at him.
Really?
Look at that Modern Warfare jersey he's got on when we're talking about Halo.
I could have.
I was gonna say that is a sick looking jersey. I like
It was £10, and I was like, "Yep, I'm grabbing it." But
I might have to look into
anyway,
one. Anyways, yeah, it's Call of Duty,
yeah, right.
Halo stream.
We were talking about Halo and stuff, but I think actually, like me and James actually met on Call of Duty.
Yeah, we did.
So this whole thing's been a lie this entire time.
Yeah,
I'm happy
I.
to
living a
It's not-
lie.
I don't
Really
actually
prove my
go to.
roots.
I don't actually take Cody the 343. We run off to Activision and just
Crazy.
yeah, it's all a lie. But yeah, dude, I needed to talk to you about those soundtracks.
The soundtracks, yes.
My
Well-
God, how until today I didn't know they existed until I did my digging, and holy shit, I'm a sucker for a soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
me too.
same. Absolutely.
Like pure sucker for a soundtrack. When I was going through them, I was like, oh, never forget. I dig that. And then
Gotta have the
finish the
classic.
fight, graced my ears. That is near perfection, man.
It is so good. And
Oh,
what's
dude.
funny is, my composer Vet Meza, he actively against recreating existing Halo soundtracks. And what was great about IO1 was when he came on, we had an original composer, Michael something, can't remember his name for the life of me. I
Good
feel
old
bad.
Mike.
Like he disappeared.
Mike.
Well, I wouldn't say disappeared, but he, life obviously took whatever he had as priority.
Mhm.
And never really heard from him again, which is, I'm sure he's seen the work, and he's credited on every soundtrack and every album. His name's there because he was the original one to come up with our theme, like our actual like melody that you'll hear in every one of Jafet's songs. Like Jafet's like, yes, thank you for something that's not the Halo theme, and it's the IL-1 theme. And what's great is across the entire soundtrack, just like Halo, you can hear it.
Yeah, I was getting it because I listened to the whole playlist today.
It's funny because I saw a thread on Reddit. I'm gonna go a little off topic, but you guys know the Spider-Man trilogy, right?
One of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Yes,
agreed.
Well, so what's funny is, so when I was, I saw Spider-Man 2 for the first time, like the moment, like the main like titles were showing, and like throughout the film,
dude, I know exactly
the music is basically the same
Yeah.
from the first. It sounds the same. And the other day I was reading a Reddit thread how Sam Raimi did not want that, or Danny Elfman did not want that.
Yeah.
They didn't want to reuse the same stuff, but towards disagreement, they ended up kind of sort of redoing the same and having the same musical cues. But to me, as a kid, when watching it, it was like just continuing the story, but it was all so familiar.
Yeah, dude, the best
So with
use of
soundtracks,
that,
yeah,
100%
soundtracks
with Spider-Man
need to have-
3 did that best.
that's the feel like the problem I have with Halo 5 soundtrack is there isn't really something that either. I
Yeah.
think Blue Team's probably what comes close.
The Trials,
really?
man, is my favorite from Halo 5.
Trials, yeah, well that has the actual Halo theme in it, but there's nothing that actually like says this is Halo 5.
Yeah.
Halo 4, blue and green, and 117.
Yeah.
Blue Team, or well, I don't know, the Blue Team's 117 and Halo 5. It's there.
A rival,
And
man.
especially
a
the
rival.
lady.
in Halo
Yeah,
4 soundtrack.
Requiem. Requiem is my number one.
I would
soundtrack.
actually kind of slightly disagree with that though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, the Halo 1 through 3, and then that's got the signature sound, and then you've got 4, which kind of has its own thing, and then I think 5 kind of, if it makes any sense, it kind of took off of 4 and then did its own thing just off of 4.
Yeah.
There's of course you've got the main menu music. I'm not familiar with like all of 5's exact names. But Halo 5's main menu music.
I wish
sounds
that was
kinda
in Halo
fun,
5
or
more,
like
'cause-
other Halos.
But yeah, no, I can see where you come from. I guess what I'm thinking in terms of like the actual self-contained like music
Cohesiveness between the
Yeah.
games.
Mhm.
in the game itself. So like Halo
Yeah.
2, it's just full of guitar.
Right.
It's an action movie.
And your issue
Halo
is
1 is all the ambient wonder. And
Oh
it's-
yeah, when you first saw
Mhm.
Halo, were you
It's, like,
blinded by its majesty?
down.
Is
Yeah.
But
But Halo 3 is very somber, and the piano so good in that game. I love it.
dude, the final cue of Halo 3, like that
Oh,
final,
yeah. Yeah.
oh man,
Everybody says they love Halo 3, and I think that there is still there's every time somebody says that, there's a reason for it, and I think that
Right.
Halo 3
Arguably,
soundtrack,
Halo 2
right?
has probably the best out of the bunch because there's so much uniqueness in the soundtrack. Like you have like Heavy Price Paid, which I guess
ODST.
it plays after Arbiter gets spawned,
Right.
in the Grave Mine, and like the Dead Elites,
Mhm.
and that is so.
But
There's
that
something about it.
resonates with
that
people, right?
cliff.
That stuff like
Yeah.
that sticks with you for ages. Like
It does.
I was just talking to Cody the other day. We were playing through ODST, and the music in ODST is removed enough to be its own thing, and just got that undertone of Halo 3 that makes it, dude, when you're walking the city in Mombasa,
and yet
Mhm.
it still
fuck.
perfectly captivates the environment that you're in, even no matter if you're playing as the rookie through the city or you're through the other squad doing their own missions. I would say ODST soundtrack is probably my favorite,
Same.
out of everything, because it's just so immersive within the game itself.
For ODST, it comes together for me when they're on the Skyline mission and they're fighting against everything that's being thrown at
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
And then the theme that you've been hearing throughout the missions, like finally comes together. It's gusto, like big orchestra, like the rock and roll kicks in, and you're just firing rockets and missile pods and everything. And it's that moment where you like meet up with everybody again, and it makes sense in terms of the story and the music story as well. So they did an amazing job on ODST.
ODST is my
Oh, for
favorite
sure.
story. Of
It's-
all
But again, it's not my
definitely top
favorite
one for
favorite.
me.
But yeah,
I mean, then you're wrong.
it's good.
See, this is one of my issues. Famously, I don't know if you know this, but
Oh, God,
famously
here we go.
around
Here we go. This is it.
and
Oh,
on my
All right, this is all
channel,
the time we've got
and
for the
across
podcast.
New Game Plus, and across everything I've ever done, I famously don't like Reach.
Jeez.
Okay, it's
I
an
found my
issue.
brother. Okay, well,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. There's
And
no way.
now
I'm
I'm
supposed
gonna
to-
I'm
I
gonna
would say,
play
I
it
like
on December
Reach
3rd.
is not my favorite. I'll say
Yeah,
Reach is not my.
It's the
I don't say
Porsche
I hate it or
Boxster of
dislike it.
Halo, right? It's still a Porsche, but it's a Boxster. You don't want the Boxster. It's a Porsche, but if you were given the choice, you wouldn't pick the Boxster.
That's such a weird analogy to use with a Halo game.
Well,
It's just
But
the one I
understand
have.
what you're saying.
it is an interesting analogy. I think the problem that Reach faces is that there's such a detach from the emotion of the story because you already know how it's going to end.
Thank you.
And also, it just, the characters themselves aren't really that. I can't really.
Oh my God, get a room.
I can't really get connected
this
with
is all
them.
I hear.
I'm sorry, the chat's probably flaming me. I'm not even looking at it.
No, it's fine. I'm blocking
It's
it out.
it's the game itself, art style. It has its own thing, and it's beautiful. And on
Yeah.
PC, holds up tremendously.
Dude, it
like
plays
it's
amazingly.
future proof.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the Forerunner in that game, spot on. But the problem I have with is it is a mood. It is toned a different way than other Halo games are, and so it's very moody. It's very dark, and there's a lot of stuff that was changed. That, well, for better or for worse, a lot of things Reach kickstarted in terms of Halo's expansion into other gameplay mechanics. So
Yeah.
to hear a lot of that, Reach is it's like the comeback of Halo. It's like, I don't know.
I feel like that was the
Halo 1 on
departure.
PC.
I feel like that was the departure from Halo, right? That was the pre-Destiny Bungie leaving Swan
Even
song
then,
to
though,
the
it still has a
franchise.
lot of Halo things that didn't really carry over.
Yeah.
So
Where's my where's my BR? I'm sorry, I'm not having that lie of, canonically there weren't BRs
I'm
around.
fine with the DMR. It's just when they're in the same sandbox, I really have issues. Yet again, though, IO1 has the same problem, but
Well,
it's okay.
I have a
The way
guy
to
you
handle
can
it is to
talk
not
to
have both
about
weapons
that.
on the same map.
Yes, that is the way to balance that stuff.
Well,
Like,
and just make
We'll just read a couple off of the chat here. It says, Reach is all about aesthetic, not so much gameplay. I would agree with that if you weren't making a video game.
It's so weird to say this, but Reach is a mood. No,
Yeah.
but it is. It's all about.
It
I
is.
agree with that. But I mean, you've got to admit I guess I'm kind of going a little bit off topic with it, but aesthetically, like you've got maps like, Forge World, for example. Like, it's like a huge map, but like that is like, you can do so much with stuff like that.
You can?
aesthetically,
it's like, or the aesthetics of that map. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, kind of goes through the entire game because like,
See, what you got to do is make your own fan game, and you can have all the Forge worlds you want.
See, Forge World in itself is an amazing feat of technology and what they've done with it, and like all like the machinima that's come out of it, and all like building and everything, and like what you can do, and the fact that the Blood Gulch is propped in the middle of it is amazing. Problem I have with it is everything is so gray. Every
Oh,
Forge map you
yeah.
played, and the problem is Reach is
Yep.
full of Forge maps because majority of the multiplayer maps. Well, we had found out that the multiplayer was done first in terms of map design, and then that was brought in
Yeah.
campaign, but still was designed with that. So you see a lot of it, and that's why Reach on PC is just breath of
Mind
fresh
blowing.
air.
It's really nice to
I've
see.
never, ever played Ridgeline as much as I've done, or Tempest. The most beautiful map in the game. Tempest with the Forerunner like grav lifts.
Oh yeah,
the-
man.
The Forerunner spires in the sky with the storm above it. Like,
Well,
it
this
is
is something
perfect.
that I was gonna say along the like color lines and everything. That's one of my favorite things about the Infinite trailer.
yes,
When Chiefs, you see the green pops, the visor pops. For the first time in years, we're finally seeing that sort of that Halo vision. Like in Halo 3, where like the carbine stood out a lot because it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
different
that's
color, right? Like that's
bright
just.
pink.
But
it
in
makes
Halo
sense.
5, it's very like blended into the environment. Their art style was very different. Halo 4, very similar thing. Infinite's first impression on us was classic art with classic color scaling, and that
So a lot of
color
people-
alone was
A lot of people don't realize, and one of my kind of nitpicks right now, and one of my kind of like my little distaste towards is everyone is like recoloring the Master Chief from Infinite to be like Halo 3 color.
Yeah.
And that's not really the point.
No.
The point of Chief Infinite and the point of what they're trying to do is they're trying to replicate
Yeah,
in a lot of
that
ways.
wonder, like you
Visually.
mentioned, that environment where in 2001 there weren't games like that.
No.
I mean, it was all corridor-based shooting games, right? That's the perfect tutorial mission in CE is the Pillar of Autumn, right? It sets you up to do that and then takes your expectation and blows it into a million.
It does. Stepping out of lifeboat.
Yeah,
it's one.
That's the thing that did it for me because like I've played. I've talked about Call of Duty a lot, but like I've played every Call of Duty, and that's like what it is, like corridor type shooting stuff. But then I remember playing CE on the PC, when that was a thing, and doing the Pillar of Autumn. I'm like, all right, that's another cool shooter. And then like you drop into Halo, and it's like it's a whole another ball game.
Right.
So, that's what kept me into it, and there was, just like you said, nothing else like it, at the time.
There isn't, no. But yeah, I can understand why Reach is not generally favored in terms of gameplay, but it has its own vision, which is cool. But I think there's a lot more cohesiveness in the original trilogy,
So when you were picking like styles for IO and everything like that, did you go through like how much Halo did you play for starters?
I'm going to admit something that
if you say not a lot, I'm going to
end this. In the last 2 years, my team really realized, but I swear I talked about it before. I didn't get into Halo until like 2011, 2012.
That's fine.
What?
Acceptable.
It was through Custom Edition. Like I played all the original games in order. So like I got Custom Edition, I got Halo 2 on PC, and then I bought a 360 for Halo 3, and then I bought ODST and Reach. And I never really owned Halo 4.
Yeah, but that's a crazy thing, right? You bought into it when there was Halo available, right? It wasn't just one experience. So your first initial stuff with Halo was you can go, oh, this is great, and I can play this, this, and that. Growing up with like starting on CE, moving to 2, moving to 3, has been. I think that's one of the biggest problems with some Halo fans, is they're very caught up with what their first experience was.
Right. A lot of people's first experience was in 3 or Reach.
Or Reach. A lot of people's is Reach. Their multiplayer experience was Reach, right? And so when you started, you had a very wide range of stuff that you were like, oh, cool.
I did. So, well, when I started, I didn't know, like, I was not into first-person shooters, and I was not into video games that much at all. Like, the guys at the library, like, basically chokehold me to play it. And I was like, no, I'm not playing a first-person shooter. The Lord compels me not to.
Are you happy with the decision that they made?
Yes, I'm very happy. Jesus. They spawned me on Death Island, and they told me how the controls work, and it's just a ring. Like, you look up and it's like this giant ring on the map. And how did they do that? Like, it's so weird, but it's like so cool. It's like, what is it? Dude. And it's like, you haven't even played the story yet. Like, I played multiplayer in that library in LAN, like, for a long time, and then I figured out
good old days there.
And then I figured out there was a sequel and another sequel, and it was a whole thing. I started watching Photon to Dawn. Like, I fell down the rabbit hole mad hard.
Yeah, clearly.
I started like absorbing everything, every machinima that ever came out, every like fan made thing, every content that had ever come out for Halo, and I tried to get myself like connected with everything. But no, I wanted to play Halo 3 really, really bad. Something about it just looked really good,
Oh, so you were also around during 2011. Like, everyone wanted to play Halo 3 at one point. Like, I saw a photo of that. Do you remember the live map on Halo 3's multiplayer?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a photo of the peaks of that the other day, and it just gave me perspective, man. I was like, geez.
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing is, I'm not really attached to nostalgia. I just saw Halo 3 as it was, and I just thought visually it reminded me a lot of CE, and it just looked fun. That's the bottom line. It was fun. It had like theater mode and everything. I was like, what? I could take photos and videos. A lot of like the Arby and Chief stuff,
dude,
was done in Halo 3.
Oh yeah.
And sorry, my dad's calling.
It's fine.
That's fine. Very good.
That's okay.
Do you think if you had just for lack of better words, like had grown up with Halo along with Halo, playing 1, 2, and 3 instead of having, all of them at access at one time, do you think your work on installation of 1 would have been impacted differently than it was?
I don't really know where I would be if I did start that, because I've played Mario Kart 64 since I was a kid, 3 or 4 years old.
Are you making a fan game on that?
I'm not making a fan game on Mario Kart right now.
Mario Kart mode in IO though.
Yeah, I wasn't really into video games, and I feel like if that was the same case, if I had an Xbox instead of an N64 and I just had Halo,
would have been a bit different.
I don't know.
Guess. Yeah, like
because my parents were very against online interactivity. It's like I had a PS3 in 2007, and I was like only allowed to. I know, I know.
It's like the worst
I would argue with people
experience.
at the lunch table like why the PS3 was better and everything, but I was coming from a graphical standpoint, because all my dad would talk about is like the Blu-ray and all like the digital or not the digital distribution, how the physical distribution is like bigger, so more resolution and everything, all that stuff. I was just absorbing everything he was saying, trying to act smart. But yeah, no M-rated games. I couldn't even get Spider-Man 3 for a hot minute. I don't know why.
Oh, poor you.
But I know. And like looking back at that game, it was not graphically impressive.
But it's about Spider-Man 3, so.
Well, I think the reason was probably because Venom just scared me as a kid. But whatever. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I would have done that if I'd started out early. I would probably have gotten.
Darth Vader scared me as a kid, so.
Yeah.
That's weird how life works out, though. If you never know, like if like one certain event could set the course for the future at all.
I'm trying to think of a game that I did end up playing that I ended up realizing how important it was later on. Kid Picks. No. Shoot.
Spyro
I can't remember.
And Crash were my two that did that. Spyro and Crash were what showed me what games could do.
Uh-huh.
Because up until then, my dad had an Xbox and a PS1.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 3 years old when CE came out. My dad's a Halo fan.
Oh, cool.
Oh, it's dude, the shit we send each other now is amazing.
My dad, the Joy Dual Sticks, like he can't get. It's okay.
I send whenever I've been to the studio or done anything cool. I always I send a photo to my dad, being like, "Guess what I'm doing today?"
Playing
really
Halo.
Cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
But my first thing was I played CE split screen with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I distinctly remember his reaction to coming out of the pod. As a kid, I was like, this is just, the norm. I haven't played anything that's limited like that, so I don't know.
Right.
But my dad put the controller down, was like, oh my god. And he talks to me about it a lot. And he was like, that's where games moved forward. I was like, that's a really good way of putting stuff, because he played Medal of Honor and Tekken and stuff like that, and they're very technically limited. But then when you did play Halo, and that's on any form of Halo, wherever you came in, in my opinion anyway, I think each Halo game innovated in its own way.
I agree, 100%.
Halo
and you know
4
what?
on 360 looks insane.
I will say though, I will put a footnote though. I think that is also Halo's one of its issues, especially kind of going past 3, because if you think about it, Halo 1 invented the modern controls. First-person shooter.
Absolutely, there's no
the open
question
world
about
design of exploration, and then Halo 2, console first-person shooter over the internet, matchmaking and friends list party. Like they invented Xbox Live, and they invented the whole Xbox 360 system, friends list, everything. Halo 3 comes out. This is where it kind of started to kind of go down because you're running out of things to do. But again, it was more about community content creation.
Yeah, I think it perfected what Halo 2 was trying to do, right?
I think if we're thinking about in terms of industry stuff, Halo 1 and 2 definitely kind of was like more of a bigger thing. But Halo 3 was more content. Well, that helped Halo 3 a lot because creating all that community features enabled it to be shared everywhere across all kinds of media. But when Reach came out, I think really with Forge World and how they were able to push the graphical limits, it was good looking, but again, they did sacrifice some things, and the motion blur and anti-aliasing wasn't really greatest. Halo 4 really pushed the 360, but again,
dude.
Halo hasn't really has not had any innovative techniques or features in a long time at that scale, which isn't really a fault of itself.
Well, it's tough to do, isn't it, when you set that bar?
It's hard to beat. I mean, it is a fault of themselves. How can you beat like I made console shooting like a thing, and then I made online matchmaking and multiplayer a thing, and then I made content creation a thing inside a video game, not having to go to a computer.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? So it's an interesting situation.
It's definitely hard to like think of new things to do after you do or pretty much do like the big main things. You know, I think it's kind of like what James was saying with like Halo 3 kind of perfected what 2 was trying to do, because it's like everything that 2 wanted to do, but 3 did it better.
Exactly. You know? Halo 3 is more of like Halo 2.5 polish.
Right.
Yeah, with a better shooting mechanic, but hey ho, I'll leave that.
Yeah. Well, the battle questionable, but you know. Yeah.
So like when you were I'm sure you've had hours and hours and hours of flip-flopping with IO ideas, right? Where you wanted that vision to be like even projectile-based versus, you know, what's the hit scan?
Hit scan.
Like I would never ever ever be able to come to a conclusive, right, this is what we're doing. So like when you were going through, was there anything from past Halo 3 that you wanted in there? Like, because you've said that it's basically a 2 and 3 hybrid that looks like that's CE-esque, right? Was there anything Reach, ODST 4 inspired?
So you're more or less asking, like, were there other things outside of Halo 3 that I wanted?
Yeah, or have like adapted to your own thing, right? Because there are a lot of features from Reach and stuff like that that, you know, aren't staples of the game. Like even Sprint. Sprint was in Halo 2. Originally, Sprint was in Halo 2, and it was cut. See, like that must have been a really weird decision to make within the studio. And now everyone's like anti-Sprint, but I feel like it just has to be done right. It's just people's opinions on.
I think the hard thing is something that's so established, and you remove something that's kind of, or you've added something that kind of breaks that formula. I mean, look at Counter-Strike. That game's been the same for like, and it's always in the top 5, 6 most streamed games on Twitch, and it's always the top on Mixer, probably too. Maybe more Microsoft-based games, but Fortnite, it's on top of the Steam charts all the time. Now it's free to play. Like, it didn't need to evolve the way it did, but they kept it the way it was because why not? They added to it, of course. Right? Yeah, they've done changes, but in a lot of ways, CSGO is a lot like 1.6, which a lot of people really loved. Like, Source wasn't really what they wanted it to be, but they nailed it. Halo and stuff that I've wanted to do, you know, you kind of take what people really saw in each game and kind of like, how do you take that, kind of mesh them together without making some monster Frankenstein, and stuff that's not even in Halo. So you mentioned projectile and hit scan. We're doing something completely different. Doing a hit scan projectile system, what Insurgency does. So at a distance between the camera, what you see, and a distance in front, you'll be able to shoot a hit cast ray. But at this point right here, and you can tell by value, it'll change to projectile and spawn a projectile instead. So you can still get that crossfire, cross-map projectile-based shooting, and the sniper can still feel like, you know, oh my god, I can't believe I hit that shot. But like, I led my shot, I hit it, and it felt really good. That feels very rewarding. But in a close quarters SMG battle, the hit scan feels a lot better because you're getting the instant reaction you feel like you should be.
Yeah, so they did balancing that stuff, right?
Yeah, which is also fun to talk about too, because everyone has their own opinion of what Halo should be like. But
yeah, you can't please everyone, man. Like that's
even people on my team have like questionable stuff. But you know, Halo 2 is in my opinion built around speed. Halo 2 is very fast, and especially when the BXR and other button combos introduced.
So much faster than 3. Have you played MCC and had all the games in the rotation? Because doing that is one of the worst things I have ever done. Because you go from like, okay, I'm nailing my shots on 3, I'm knowing where I'm at, and then I load into 2, and I'm lost.
It's the opposite for me. 2, I feel like I'm great at for date, like
I mean,
I can get it, but then 3, I'm just like fumbling around like an idiot. You know.
So how good are you at your own game?
The
Wanna get used to
hesitation.
it. I'm not exactly the greatest, but at our barbecue, I did land a no scope. So,
Oh yeah, I want an invite to that next year, by the way. Just a side note.
well, yeah, next year it'll happen for sure. Hopefully,
Yeah.
if we're still around, because he obviously he's gonna murder us.
Oh yeah, of course. MCCPC, you've lost everyone who's ever cared about this project. Like,
I mean, yeah, there's probably a lot of people we lost, but I don't really care. It's
yeah, but
more just not.
it's like
making my own game.
I've said this about content creation, right? Because I've left a couple of really big groups, and like people are like, "Why would you do that?" And I've started with these guys and everything. But I always say a painter shouldn't paint to sell his art. You should paint because you want to paint.
Well, really, you have the game developers. Most of the time when they start small and the companies start small, you want to look at Bungie. Bungie was really a bunch of nerds who love video games, and they made video games. Same thing for it as well. They just knew their product. They knew exactly how they wanted it to be. There was no interference between what the public thinks they need and what they should, put in it. And they were able to make what they want. And in doing so, of course, they listened to fan feedback. They created masterpieces. And Halo, no one knew what Halo was, but they made it. They obviously, I don't want to say noobified Halo 2 because really they had to do a lot of stuff for the expectation of Xbox Live and the internet requirements to fill it back in the day. So a lot of the stuff was very safe. But they knew what they were selling. I feel that when it comes to a lot of companies, they will definitely kind of get a little bigger and they kind of lose the focus of what they are trying to sell because the people who were trying to sell them have either moved on or other people have been promoted that don't actually really know what they're trying to sell. They think they know what they're selling. But at the same time, you do need actual people who understand the game to sell it. So that's where I feel like Halo 3's marketing really excelled, where Reach's marketing really excelled. And to an extent, Halo 5's marketing did excel. They had a wonderful marketing campaign. Problem was, it didn't translate into what the game was.
Hunt the Truth was incredible.
Like, seriously, I remember getting super excited for the story of Halo 5 just
Same.
based off the marketing. And,
Same.
It's a toss-up. So you can obviously get too big for your shoes, but really you kind of need to put the blinders on. It's like, this is what I'm going to make. I don't really care what people think. But at the same time, you do have to care. So it's a really weird balance.
Yeah, you're in such a
you as a
difficult
person
No,
position.
for sure.
has gone through it, like what you're trying to sell and trying to make. So, but really to answer the other stuff, there's stuff from Reach in terms of how vehicles were done, how responsive they were. Not so much how they handled health and shield with it. I thought that was really
Yeah, that's great.
Halo 1, a lot of emphasis on weapon design and each of their own. They fulfilled their own role in the sandbox. So the pistol is crazy, but it is the go-to weapon. But it's the jack of all trades. You can handle it in a scenario. And they have everything else that's kind of in a way balanced around it. But they have their own distinct role. You have the stun ability of the plasma rifle. You have the quick firing of the plasma pistol. Like, that thing shoots really fast.
Oh yeah.
But shields and health, plasma does better on shields. Bullets do better on flesh. There's design. There's a dance to Halo, and you got to be able to learn how to swing. So there's a lot of stuff to take, and it's just what to take that's right and what doesn't, and make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's definitely a balance to strike, isn't it? Because so what you're saying is there's no armor lock in IO, and there never was that conversation.
I swear to God, if I see armor lock in my game, I'm canceling the whole thing at that point.
I would too. That is
armor lock's interesting. The problem with armor lock is it stops the flow of combat. So you're kind of stuck in this you're going, you're shooting, and it's like, I'm waiting. Okay, let's play again.
Yeah, it definitely breaks up that. And Halo.
Now the idea to use it in front of a vehicle is the most satisfying thing. That's the thing. You're trying to go. It's more of a vehicle based attack. Going up into the sword room on Oni's base or whatever it's called in Reach, and that little lovely hallway where you can just see everybody go chink on the ground. It's like, I'm just around. I'm not even gonna bother. Like, that's just not.
Yep.
I think it could be done differently and more creatively. Like, we had an idea long ago if we were going to do armor abilities, and this was like 2014, way long time ago. But we would have it balanced to where you would see above their heads what armor ability they had when you would go over their username, so you know exactly what they were going to counter you. And that would be the dance. It's like, how do you like react to that situation? So
that is a really intriguing
Yeah,
prospect.
I don't think I've ever seen anything even similar to that in any other game that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, that's I like the idea of that. So
and you know, really, armor ability should have been pickups to begin with.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it
Okay,
was
so yeah,
definitely
armor
a
lock
test for
doesn't make
Destiny,
sense.
wasn't it? Like that was what they were testing stuff for Destiny, is what I've heard from.
Yeah, I like to say that too. Maybe not, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that kind of carries over into the shared world and everything's around you. That's
I mean,
the same.
look at the jetpack movement. It is exactly the same as the original jumping in.
I don't care what anybody says how Halo CE was going to have jetpack. Vertical combat is completely removed when you add the jetpack. Like, the levels of multiplayer just don't make, you can just go all the way up now. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. But then again, it was what they wanted. It was Bungie's final farewell. They wanted to test some things. Let them do it. That's their game.
Yeah, that was definitely their area to make that decision, right? That was definitely their moment to go, well, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out like this. And it was like, okay, fair enough. Like
100%. I'm interested to see what happens with Halo Reach on PC, though. It's interesting to see how people react with it.
Early reactions are very interesting already.
Yep.
Like from people getting hold of... I'm assuming you played the flight, right?
I have luckily gotten this flight after millions of other flights.
Yay!
Yeah, no, I got into it, and I mean, I don't know how Reach was, but yeah, the aiming definitely felt really weird. Although Hidden Xperia freaking I guess found a fix so last minute. You just make your resolution, and it works. It feels really good.
I mean, they've since put the blog post out and everything about how that's been their main focus, and they fixed that
a lot better. And they've gotten back, and they've said that they're going to have uncapped, which is also a really good thing.
Every PC player is, because I'm an Xbox guy.
Yeah,
like through and through. If I play on my PC, I'm controller all the way. I've never PC gamed, and when I got the flight invite, I was like, I guess I have to. I'm a Halo kid. I do these things. I
gotta validate myself.
Yeah, if it was Halo 3 PC, I'd be like, right, let's go. But it weren't. So the conversation was like, back and forth. And when I played it, I found myself shredding everybody because the aim assist is ridiculous on controller on PC.
Yeah, they said they can't change it because of a lot of
crossplay down the line, right? Was what I.
Well, I think it's just how the engine works. Again, that's the other thing about with Halo, and us using Unity. We're not really tired of these funny issues they have with console stuff and kind of bring it to PC. So they're definitely having a lot of headaches with that, and that's something we thankfully we can avoid. But then we also have the wonderful part where it's like it doesn't feel like Halo because it really isn't Halo, is it? So it's a trade-off.
That's definitely a dance between you and the product, isn't it? At that point, because I guess at what point do you say yeah, that's good? Because you can always look at something and go, that's not enough.
Yeah, as an artist, you really don't see yourself finishing it. And again, that's also another reason why the game hasn't really come out yet. It's just because we're always finding ways to improve it, whether it's visually or technically. And it's kind of a problem and it needs to be reined in a little, but we're just trying to make something.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad problem to have, just making sure you're doing the best you can.
I just want to get it out because I don't want to say move on with my life. I just want to see what the next step is and where this can take us. So I'd like to be able to go to 343 one day and say, Uni, do you want to play the game? We just had an update today.
I mean, yeah. So.
It did happen at the barbecue, but regardless.
Yeah. I'm assuming, you're a legitimate, game designer now. You've gone through it. I mean, you guessed. You had 100,000 sign up to something that had nothing there. That's insane.
I guess I am a game designer, yes.
So
I'm a mouther. I say all the cool ideas and I make people do it. Yeah, but no, I do a lot of it.
I'm a similar person, I did the same thing. But does that mean once IO's done and pushed aside, do you want to make something original? Would that be something you'd think about?
You're asking the tough questions.
Yeah, I'm not holding back.
So, one mistake I did growing up was assuming I would be getting in the game industry off the bat. wouldn't be a problem. I would have IO1 and I could go and do whatever I want.
Mm.
Well, reality knocked on the door and said, that's not how life works. So I came to the startling realization that I need a real career, and then this needs to be my side, which is okay. But I found, thankfully enough, a way to blend both of them. So I'm trying to go into marketing. What I love doing with Fire One, I've learned a lot with
Same.
Fire One. So yeah, I'm trying to do
also
communication
same.
marketing, and that's worked out well for me. Now I have a job, doing social media for my company that I work at, and helping out with their Facebook and just general database stuff. So, but that's a foundation for me to always fall on, and I feel like young me was definitely not going to get anywhere and be very concerned what my actual future would have been if I just kind of put all my eggs into the game design basket.
Yeah.
So, do I want to make games afterwards? I do and I don't. But it all just depends on IO1. Like, soon I do want to definitely incorporate, but right now I think it's really difficult because just of the time we have. We're all so busy.
Yeah, and
college and everything, and just jobs and life, and I don't really feel like I can run a company right now. Like, I can run a game dev team over the internet, yeah, but real company, like paperwork and stuff, like that needs actual thought and like plan.
Yeah,
it really does. And we have done that, but it's just so daunting. And I do want to do it, but there's a time.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's time yet.
Because you put
That's
6 years already into IO.
And even that wasn't even really a studio. We only came up with a name a year ago. So
I like it, by the way. I like the little.
Yep, I agree.
I really didn't like it at first. They could not convince me. But then I don't know what. I guess because I saw like the logo design and I thought how simple it looked. I thought it was like, okay, that'll be good. And it turns out it's really decent. So it's
really
actually
decent.
to the point where someone stalked my level designer's LinkedIn and thought that Microsoft was buying us out.
How's that going? How are your 6 Lamborghinis?
We work at Soon Studios, and one executive from the Microsoft Games, well, they're not called Microsoft Games, Xbox Game Studios now. They said we're going to be like acquiring some people, tune in soon, and they like capitalize soon. So people were like, "Oh my god, they're going to get them," and it's like, no, but that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like, because that's something as well that nowadays. Independent developers are getting a lot more, I guess, support in one aspect, but now the market is very saturated, right? There's a lot of independent developers now.
There is.
Like last year, I think Xbox put like $1.3 billion or something stupid into indie devs.
Yeah, I don't know if you went to it, but they had the ID at Xbox open house.
Yeah.
Time. So we went to that, and it was huge. Game development has become very easy. It's not like it was 10 years ago. So
yeah, you have these engines. Like, did you see that guy make Blood Gulch the other day in Unreal?
Yeah, I had.
Yeah,
I was hyped for that video because I saw the announcement that they were joining Unreal or Epic, and in the background they were making Blood Gulch. And I was like, I need that video now,
dude. The best thing about that video was how he did the ring,
which is how we do it.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, ours is a little different in terms of shaders. But yeah, like we have clouds. We have actual clouds moving. Like if you zoom in on the sniper rifle, you'll be able to see like them moving slightly. It's not as high poly as his would be because his is very much an art scene.
Yeah, it was just one shot. You can't walk around that.
Yeah, and I think Project Contingency actually does the same thing. Sorry for the squeaky chair.
I love the squeaky chair. It's adding to your personality. I feel like we're really seeing more of you.
This is me in every meeting.
through the squeaky chair.
Yep.
You tried to make it squeak and it did nothing. Just so you know.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Isn't that the best thing in the world? Moving around to try and make it do some stuff.
Yep. No.
Excuse me.
You're excused. So like, I'm just gonna ask a couple more, just quickly.
All right. I will say the 815. I might have to do that. People. It's okay. Sorry.
So, it's not just MCC coming to PC. Everyone's focused on that at the moment. But it's not just that. Next year's also Infinite is going to be the first original to come onto PC since
it's launched at the same time. Yeah, that hasn't happened ever.
That's insane.
Think about it. Halo 1 PC came out.
Yeah.
2 years
you're
after.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot. I thought that was
Halo 2 came out in 2007 on PC, and that was it. So,
Jesus.
I mean, and Spartan Strike and Spartan Assault if you want to count them, they came out later. Halo Wars. No, wait a minute, I lied. Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2 is technically the
But
first
I'm
one,
also not counting that.
but it's an RTS.
It's
Yeah.
an RTS.
But to give people credit in the chat,
Hey,
yes,
don't hate on RTS. I love
I
RTS.
know, but I just
I don't,
Anyway.
but it's not. It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but this is the first person mainline Halo game that
first person
had
mainline Halo.
released at the
game.
same time.
So what do you think
It'd be
that's going to
interesting.
do for? Because I'm assuming that their timeline works out right. We're going to have most of, if not all of, the MCC on PC prior to Infinite.
At that point, yeah.
At that point, right? So we're going to have so many Halo experiences on PC by the sort of this time next year, maybe a month in hand, right?
Yeah, it's incredible to believe.
Did you ever think when you started this that would ever have happened?
Never. I had always thought they would just do Halo 3, but I never really expected them to go back and even like re-release Halo 1 and 2, like the anniversary editions PC.
Mm-hmm.
It's just or even Halo 4.
Yeah, dude, I want to see that game on PC.
Yeah, that Halo 4 is probably going to really shine the best, I think.
Yeah,
Well, in terms of
Halo
graphics
2
stuff.
Anniversary, I think, will be...
Oh no, Halo 2. I'm sorry, Halo 2 Anniversary is going to be the best out of them all because that actually. Oh wait, that doesn't have true PBR in it. Got to confirm that the other day. It's the best looking and the best modern Halo experience we've had in.
Yeah.
Really, the only one that is classic like that. Hang on a second.
Look at you squeaking.
Add some B-roll in at this moment here.
Just do a little like... like a we'll be right back little moment.
Oh, nice
That's fine.
Gatorade bottle into the.
Yeah, that's fine. That's acceptable.
Wonder what flavor Gatorade that is.
Yeah, Cody, I think we should ask a couple more and then wrap with this
Yep,
one.
I'm cool with that.
So
What's the chat saying? I don't even have the chat up.
Oh yeah, let me read off a couple of these. So
yeah, let's read off some of the chat.
someone said the real Halo 3 anniversary were the friends we made along the way, which I agree with. Thank you, Gunblade. The jetpack would have been cool if it only had one charge. Would have been an interesting power up. Also, just a quick escape.
Interesting
I dig
thought.
that. I like that idea actually. Just a quick escape. It would have to be faster. You couldn't just charge.
I'm back. Sorry,
Oh, he's back.
It's okay. We're
Welcome.
reading off of some of the chat. That we
I can't see the
neglected.
chat. I don't know how Mixer works.
It's fine. It's fine. Just stay over on Twitch. It's fine.
No, I don't have anything against it. Oh god. How do I
But
see this?
someone's suggestion was actually pretty cool here. So,
Hmm.
what if armor abilities were just equipment with one use? So you could
That's
only
so
armor
that's
lock once,
what I was
right?
talking about with
Yeah.
pickups on the map. Because when you think about it as armor lock, it's super like ridiculous and overpoweredness, and yeah, it stops combat. But if it was like one use and only one person had it on one team, that'd be pretty cool.
'Cause
Imagine
then,
if you could
like,
stack 'em.
anti-vehicle, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's-
And like
it's
if
perfect.
the other team was very vehicle based and had a lot of, control of the map through that, you can slowly take them apart. Maybe like 2 vehicles you can kill if you got timed them right. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, that is a good idea. And something that we've even kind of considered, but that's just something that's not really on the timetable right now.
Yeah, of course.
don't
Like, there's
really.
making an authentic Halo that's not anything to do with Halo Reach is more
But the
important.
thing is, that's what we can do because we can do what we want to do.
You can. This
Whereas-
is the thing. You have a clean slate. You have a forged world of opportunities.
We do, and the one thing
Wow.
you touched. Oh my gosh, the puns. The one thing you touched on, I'm going to say really quickly here, is that there's a lot of Halo content coming to the PC. Really, a lot of that content, besides Infinite, is 10 years old.
Yeah,
Over.
you've played all of these games before.
You've played these games for years. You haven't had a new experience, and you're not going to get. I don't personally believe Halo Infinite's going to be classic arena. I think they're going to stick to the roots. They're probably going to remove some stuff, but I think it's not going to be what we want it really to be. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what their trilogy is. But we have not had a classic experience. New, fresh take, new design, new rules.
Yep.
We haven't.
Well-
So that's where also Iowan could fill its void.
Exactly.
So-
That's the thing that I was just gonna say. Like, that's the niche that you're hitting into, right?
Mhm.
The
That's the
tiny
area.
so niche. Yes.
That tiny little area of so many people want.
Sorry for the buzzing. My phone keeps like,
Now that you've drawn attention
Very
to
good.
it, I know that it's there.
no. I
Oh,
want to see the chat. I'm pissed I can't see the chat.
Well, that's, a you problem, my friend.
How do you?
Dang, savage.
Is it disabled on Mixer? What is going on?
No. If I'm looking at it, it's not disabled.
Okay, how do I double click somewhere?
It should be on the right-hand side of my screen.
There's nothing there. It's just the full screen video.
I don't believe you.
You should exit full
Believe it.
screen.
Oh, yeah, exit full screen, and you'll see the chat on the right-hand side.
No, I'm exiting full screen. Look, it's like Streamception. I don't know what's going on. It's okay. It's okay.
Cody, have you got anything else you want to...
Yeah, well, I've
Sorry.
got one more. If you can't answer this, it's talking about all these PC experiences coming out. Is there anything you can tease and all that you can do for us, or are you not at that point yet?
Not the point for.
I respect that. I respect that, keeping it under wraps.
I mean,
We like
he
to,
just told us that Armor Lock is going to come to the game, basically. This
You're
is
right.
No, do
conversation.
not spread rumors like that. That's a really bad rumor that I do not want in this game.
All it is it's just a cave simulator where Noble Six is alive. That's what it is. We all know that's what it is.
I can make that in a day.
Yep.
Dude, honest to
Walk
God.
in a cave, just move back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rip the Noble 6 model and call it in.
Please.
Make some rocks and some terrain. Have sounds of war in the.
Yeah. Or just like,
That's my Unity. That's
Yeah.
my first Unity game.
cave sim with Noble Six. He's been there for like
Noble
10
Cave.
years. And just have like little
Just
things.
hanging
So
out.
he's got little paintings of his buddies on the wall that he's done in with little
How would you have him like
sticks he's
chip
found.
away at like a rock structure for years?
Yeah. He's just
Like,
made
you
like
just
a
have your
little
program just go at it, and then like maybe 10+ years after getting through this giant thick wall, there's just like a meme at the end of it.
Yeah, just like this whole thing.
Easter egg. Unless you can no clip through everything and then cheat, but whatever.
Yeah, well,
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 guys,
I think this has
it
been
was
a
amazing to finally do this.
Yeah,
I've been
It
waiting
was.
to do it for a while.
We've been waiting to do anything like this for a long time. This is the first sort of podcast format we've done so far.
Mhm.
It's a fun one.
It's definitely
Yeah,
cool
it's
to
been,
have
it's been great.
our first guest be such a fan of Halo Reach. That's the
Oh.
best thing.
That's it. He's done. Never coming back.
Yeah, well, we've ruined him.
Well, this has been
It's been
the
great.
first episode, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
kinda-
It's been really
man,
cool
we'll
to
probably
actually talk
Glad to
through
kick it off. If you guys ever want to play Halo or do another
Oh, for
podcast,
sure.
you're more
I'd
than
like
welcome
to
hit my
play
DMs.
a lot of games all the time.
well,
Eventually,
yeah.
one day, we will sit down and we'll play Installation 01.
where can we find
Yeah,
everybody
so-
on the interwebs?
Yeah, let's do some
Twitter,
interwebs.
Xbox. What are you doing?
So-
what's your Twitter, Alex? You got a
Oh, the
Twitter?
Chunkier Bean.
Okay.
So
At the Chunkier Bean. All my socials are the Chunkier Bean. If you really want to follow me on Instagram, it's Chunkier.
I have to look that up. I spend a lot of time on Instagram.
You
It's
do.
okay. I have a really dumb profile pic.
And following all of their stuff as well, they have Twitter pages for Installation 01. You have a website
For
which
sure.
is awesome. You can sign
That's
up
pretty
to be the first to hear about it all. Right, if I'm correct.
Yes, you are. As where you hear, like someone asked a response today is like, "Is it? Oh, were you announcing the release date?" It's like, no, dude. We'd probably make a lot more.
Yeah, you'd
noise
make
than
a bit more.
We
you
would
know.
be so annoying. Yeah, we have our YouTube channel. See
Yeah.
when our content drops there. And then you know what? Do you know what you can do? You can check out the Great Journey podcast.
Oh,
Its
thank
next
you.
episode. I don't know when it's gonna, but it's gonna be good because
It's gonna be
the
great.
people that host are lovely and they have great personalities and they will probably get very far with it. So
Oh, it's
Probably
awesome.
thank you.
best bet would be to follow their Mixer and follow their socials. We have James, the kick-ass James over here. I don't know your Twitter.
That's
and then
my
we have
Twitter. You shout it out.
Oh, we have Chilisco. Sorry.
That's the
That's
one.
me.
You got there.
So
We got there in
follow
the
them
end.
out there.
Well,
Yeah.
this has been a great afternoon / evening / morning, wherever you're
You know
at.
what? It has.
has.
I'm pretending I'm like looking at
Yeah.
it right now.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, we
No
shall
problem.
see you next time on the Great Journey podcast.
Yes. And may your journey also be great.
Thank you.